Hey guys, it's Courtney with CJ Outdoor, and today I'm in a very different location. As you can see behind me, it's a highway. That is a highway in my town, and it's a very urban park here in between subdivisions and highways, and there's something called the Kilborne Ditch that runs through a huge chunk of our city, and it's met with a few different rivers, including the Des Plaines River. And I've just been really curious to see, are there fish in here? And so today we're gonna check it out. We're gonna walk along this river in this park. I found this park by doing extensive research on some maps, and I found a way in. It doesn't look too deep, but it's crazy because this direction you can see city, but if I turn you around, this is what we're looking at, right? So it's just crazy, the difference. It doesn't look too deep here, so I'm not sure if we're gonna find any fish. I'm gonna travel up that way and follow it and see if we do find any fish, but I'm definitely super curious and super excited. So you know what, it's worth a shot. We'll find out. I think I'm gonna start, hold on, we'll find out. Ooh, I dropped you, hold on, now I gotta set you back up. That's a whole process. So we'll find out if there's fish. And I'm gonna start today with a bobber and a worm, because if there's something, it'll bite on that. I also can gauge depth that way. Looking at it, it doesn't look very deep at all, at least in this location. So I'm gonna follow it back a little bit too. I'm gonna try over here. It looks like there might be a deeper pool, and see what we get. Super excited. Let's go fishing. All right, I've got you set up on my net camera. It's not the sturdiest, but we're gonna give it a go. Sorry for the bouncing. Sorry for the bouncing. All right, so you can see the river here. It's not that deep. This is the Kilborne Ditch again. A lot of this water is fed from city street runoff, so I wouldn't eat anything out of this ditch by any means. I can see something running over there. What is that? Is that a rat? It's gross. I would definitely want to eat anything out of this pool of water by any means, but it is, however, connected to the Des Plaines River. So to me, that means that there is a pretty strong likelihood that there could be fish in here. And, you know, in these calmer areas, especially, there might be fish. I think there was a rat across the way. Dead serious. Not kidding. This current's pretty strong, and it's at least this deep there. You know, it's at least, what, 6 inches, 8 inches deep there. So let's get it a little deeper. Let's see what we got. I cannot believe that. I'm pretty sure it was a rat. It's gross. Urban fishing. Beautiful. Yeah, see, it still looks like it's floating. No, oh, and I got a bite. Are you serious? I just got a bite. Oh, I almost had whatever that is. I got it. Oh, missed it again. Oh my gosh, so there is fish, you guys. There's fish in here. I knew it. I knew there was fish in here. All right, hold on. Let me reset my bobber. Looked like it was pretty small because I have a 1/16 ounce jig head on here, and that didn't get it, so that's not a big hook. But let's try again. That's crazy. I don't know what it was, but there's fish. How exciting is that, right? Urban street ditch runoff. There's fish. Oh my gosh. Aggressive fish at that. And we got him this time. Are you serious right now? What? Yes. What is this? Is catfish. What is this? Are you serious right now? How cool. I'm like super stoked. It's like my second cast into this ditch. This is awesome. All right, let me get this guy off. So there we go. I don't know exactly what kind of cat this is. This is an interesting fish. I'm gonna have to do some research on it, but let's get him back in the water. That is amazing that there's fish in here like that. Super aggressive fish in here like that. So let's see, right back to that spot where I thought looks kind of deep here, there might be fish, and sure enough there was. So we're gonna let that float Yep, it's getting knocked around again. Let's try. Oh, so cool, you guys. I lost most of my worm. Should reworm. Worm's trying to get away, guys. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Okay. Okay, so we're about 8 inches deep. Let's take a few steps this way. So we were just fishing in that hole right there. So let's take a few steps over here. Let's go over here and see what I cannot believe that. It was like the second cast. I caught a fish. Just went a little deeper and there you go. All right. And it's pretty deep there. You know, it's got that more than 8-10 inches deep there in that pool, which makes me think, let's go a little deeper, see if we can't hit the bottom, because it looks kind of like a deep hole there. Let's find out. We're gonna go a full 18 inches, a little over a foot, right? Heard something over there. A little creepy, not gonna lie. All right. Yep, bottom of that river, bottom of that ditch gets us fish. I don't know. Come on, baby. Took my worm. Took my worm. But they're down there. Should we see how big they get down there? Let's put more worm on that. I'm gonna have to throw on a lure, a jig, and see if we've got anything bigger that would be chasing bait fish in there. Definitely going to fish a little bit more over there, see what we pull out, and then we're going to head down the river and see if we catch anything else. But this is super exciting to me. I'm super stoked there's fish in here. Like, I knew it. The Kilborne Ditch, you know, from my research, was like, it's always been, you know, connected to rivers. But I don't know exactly how deep it is in all the spots, and I know for a fact that most of it is like street runoff that fills it, because all along the interstate is Kilborne Ditch, at least in certain parts of the county, all along like the frontage roads and stuff. So I don't know, pretty cool though. So we're gonna go back over here in this deep hole. We're gonna put this sinker and bobber and worm on the bottom. I got my husband's ugly stick that I bought him from the Walmart because my line on my retractable fishing pole bird nested on me the other day and I haven't relined it. So, oh shoot, talkie, a tree. Jeez, it just landed in there. It's pretty good fishing if you ask me. Oh, we got one. And it's another one of those little catfish. That is crazy looking. That is just pretty cool, right? Right. Fun. He's like, I'm just going to give up. He's just hanging out. Love that. All right, let me pause you. I'm going to get him off the hook. Give me a second. All right, guys, I caught another one off camera because I was showing my husband. He called me, and I had to FaceTime him and show him because I'm really kind of confused at what kind of catfish this is. And I love that. I love learning new things and discovering new things about fishing because I've been doing this for a really long time. So for me not to know is kind of interesting. All right, again, I'm just going to throw some worm out on a 1/16 ounce jig head on a bobber. And I can't get too close because it looks like the bank is kind of falling in and I don't want to miss a step and accidentally go in. Especially not this water, ew. City water, yum. So I'm gonna try to cast out over it and in and amongst this down log here. Trying to be really careful about, oh, a frog. About where I step here. So hopefully we're safe. Looks like some animals were going in here. And see, there's a hole. You can't see it, but this is a hole. So anyway, let's see what's over here at this log. All right, see if we can't get out there. Let's try again, see if there's anything over there. And then we'll move down a little more. Whoa, whoa. Same thing, big hits right away. Big hits, big hits. Is it cleaning me? Got it. Got it. My drag is not set correctly. Another one of them little catfish. They must be really populating in here. All right. Is this like a bullhead? Like, what are you? A yellow bullhead, maybe? I don't know. No, it's not a bullhead. I don't know what this is, guys. I'm going to research it, though. I will find out by the time I put this video on YouTube. So, oh, all right, all right. Okay, so in this spot, I was casting into the current and letting the current kind of drag my bobber under those trees. I didn't end up catching anything here, but I did see these little schools of minnow fish, which was pretty cool. Still don't know what kind of fish at this point. Oops, that was a little bit much. Can you guys see the minnows in there? Here they go. They're about to pass the rock. They're right there. Right there. You see them? There's definitely fish over here. Okay, so I did a few more casts out underneath this tree. I got some nibbles, but never ended up being able to reel anything in. Cleaned my hook a couple times, so I decided to go back to the original spot with some lures this time. Hey, self. Why are you always making me so mad? Match the hatch, huh? What should we throw? Little tiny translucent jig body. That's what we should throw. All right, one more time with this, and then I'm gonna throw a minnow again. I'm supposed to be home in 20 minutes, so this is definitely my last go at it. I'm always on a time clock here, so you know, we gotta make sure we're making the most of our time. So if I turn around and that fish is back. Okay, here I threw on a 1/16 ounce jig head with a white twirly tail grub minnow kind of combo looking soft bait lure. And let's see what we can catch. They like this white one. That is for sure. You can see them hitting it on the way back. They like the white one. Yeah, they like this guy. Letting it sink and kind of bouncing it up because I know there's not a lot of water here, so the fish are going to be, you know, towards the bottom. They're not going to be floating in the top 6 inches when we've only got a foot to work with, really, you know, most likely. So we're going to reel and rest, and that way she sinks down to the bottom and gives them fish down there a good look before she pops back up. Oh, we finally got something else. What do we got? We've got ourselves a green sunfish, guys. I'm so happy I caught a green sunfish. You don't even know. Like, I'm just having such a good time. This makes me so happy. He's a little tiny guy. Look at him. You know, it's like the jig is almost the size of this fish's body. So we've got a little green sunfish for anybody who's curious. Doesn't this take a picture? I thought it did, but maybe not. So hold on. Anyways, this is on our fish list. This is on our Wisconsin fish list. So I can count this green sunfish on our Wisconsin fish list, which I'm excited about. Let me get a picture. Hold on. Okay, so that was it. We definitely found fish. Like I said, I'm going to do some research, figure out exactly what kind of fish it was. And we caught a green sunfish, which is pretty cool, you know, that there's some pretty lively active species in here. I think that these little fish were feeding so aggressively because they probably don't see lures and stuff very often. I've never heard of anybody fishing here. But it's fun. Definitely something I would like bring the kids to come do because it's so easily accessible and we could just plop a bobber in the water with worms and get fish. And they love that kind of action from those little fish. So all in all, great fishing trip. Glad I did it. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go home and eat. Okay guys, I did some research literally walking back to the truck. And I was looking at this thing's mouth and I'm like, it is not a catfish. And it's a Creek Chub. I'm sure a bunch of you already know that. But to me, it's new. I've never caught a Creek Chub. And I'm super excited. I've never caught a creek chub before, and I guess the one I caught last was a pretty good size for creek chub. So how fun is that? Super fun. I love that. Creek chub in the middle of the city on a highway.